Hi guys, and thank you for joining me again on Daliso Sports Show. I am Daliso. South Africa versus Nigeria in the World Cup qualifiers. Now, these games today, I think, are going to be the end of the qualifiers this time round. So South Africa are hosting Nigeria, and this is a very important game for Nigeria, in my opinion. In this group, South Africa are leading the pack, and they have 16 points, with Benin 11 points at the moment. Nigeria are third with 10 points. I think they have got a chance to get that second place spot if they play their cards right. They will definitely need to win this match this evening. Now, let's see what the teams look like this afternoon, so we see what chances they have. South Africa lineup as follows. I mean, that is going to be the predicted lineup. So Rowan Williams in goal. He did get, if you remember, in the African Nations Cup, he got the Golden Glove. He was really, really good, saved a lot of penalties. So he's great with direct spot kicks, that kind of thing, free kicks. Rowan Williams, very good goalkeeper. He was impressive in the last African Nations Cup. So this is, I mean, the attack line for Nigeria will have to be really sharp. I mean, playing away from home is never easy. And then back four, they're predicting that South Africa's back four will look like this. Nyinko Mobi, Molei Sane, Mbokazi, and Modiba as the back four. They're predicting a midfield of five, sort of two holding midfielders and three attacking midfielders. So the two holding midfielders look like Mokoena and Mbata, and the attacking midfielders Nkota, Mbule, and Apolis. And then, of course, Lyle Foster up front. We've seen him in the Premier League, and I've seen him score a goal. So, yeah, Nigeria are going to have to be really wary to make sure that they don't concede. Of course, South Africa are leading this pack. So, yeah, definitely have to be super careful. Now, what I like about the Nigerian team is it's pretty steady. I've seen the keeper a few times, Nwabali. I've seen him a few times in African Nations Cup. I've seen him play pretty well. So at least you can be, when you've got a keeper, you know how to work with. It makes everything so much easier. They're predicting a back four of Ola Aina. He's now got a new manager at Forest. They've got rid of Espirito Santos, and they're possibly, and we know, they have signed a new manager, former Tottenham manager, to manage him. So it's going to go back to a lot of change, but we do know what Ola can do in that right back position of his. He can make those intrusive forward runs. He does have a bit of pace to him. His dribbling is probably not amazing, but he can get past other defenders and other midfielders and can put in some crosses as well. So that is a threat that South Africa will have to be conscious of. Now, the left back is Frederick. They think it's going to be Frederick with a centre-back pairing of Bassi, who we've seen in the Premier League, and Onyemachi. Sorry, I can't pronounce this. Forgive me. I don't really think I've paid attention to him before, if that's the back four, but I'll be watching this match so that I'll be able to see how he works in this team, in this lineup. So that is the back four for Nigeria. Now, they're predicting holding midfielders of Wilfred Ndidi and Onyeka. These are stalwarts. I've seen them play plenty of times. Very strong defensive midfield there. Quite attacking midfield with Ademola Lookman, they're predicting, or Alex Iwobi and Moses Simon. Definitely can't go wrong with that. I'm not sure how that will work as well when you're away from home playing in South Africa, but the facilities in South Africa are amazing. So hopefully they'll be able to utilize that. And I think Nigeria has got a big presence in South Africa, so they're going to have a lot of support. Definitely something worth thinking about and looking into. And they're thinking Victor Osimhen will be back up front to do a job for the Nigerian team. Of course, Osimhen has got a decent reputation. I have to confess, I didn't like his performance at the African Nations Cup before. He limped off injured against Rwanda. He got a kick, so he limped off injured, but I'm sure he's going to want to participate. And the bench for Nigeria is nothing to be sniffed at. I think it's one of those nations which has managed to nurture a good, strong international squad in like West African and especially Southern African teams. We do struggle to nurture, players that play abroad with very competitive opponents. So it does help Nigeria build a team. Now, prediction-wise, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult for Nigeria, I think, against South Africa, in my opinion. Away from home, it doesn't help. South Africa have managed to accumulate a lot of points. They're going to be comfortable, but they are also going to be weary not to lose ground. There's still 3 more matches to play because all of them are going to be playing 10 games each. This is going to be their 8th game. So there's 2 more games. So they'll want to be beating Nigeria. Let me have a look. Head-to-head. Let's have a look at the head-to-head. Now, the last game Nigeria and South Africa played was in Nigeria in this same competition in the qualifier, and it was a draw 1-1 in Nigeria, which doesn't bode well. I think Nigeria need more than a point. In the African Nations Cup 2023, Nigeria, South Africa was also a draw 1-1. There's a pattern here. And then the qualifiers in 2019, Nigeria beat South Africa 2-1, and then a lot of 1-1s, and then another 1-1 in 18, 17. South Africa was the last time South Africa beat Nigeria, and that was in Nigeria. So when Nigeria got to South Africa, it tends to be a draw, really. But this time round, I think with the personnel that they've got, I really think there's a good chance that Nigeria are going to do quite well today. Just because I think they need it more, and they'll need to be really tactical and really thoughtful and really intentional about how they go about this game. It's really important that if they cannot beat South Africa, at least they're going to get a draw. I cannot see Nigeria losing this match. So if they can't beat South Africa, they'll have to settle with going into the playoff position. So being above Benin. So I'm going to go for a narrow Nigeria win or a draw, but I'm going to go for a narrow Nigerian away win in this match. But we are going to see the match kicks off at 5:00 this evening, and then we are going to see what happens in that regard. So, yep, I'm just having a look at. Give me a second. Let me look at the other games that are happening in this group. Give me a second. Let me just find my app. I use Live Score for all, like updates and matches and things like that. The only thing that really disappoints me with Live Score is when they're looking at African teams, they don't put a lot of work into putting out like team news, a lot of detail there isn't. So you have to go somewhere else, but it's quite easy to look into. So the other matches that are taking place today, Benin is going to play Lesotho, and then Zimbabwe is going to play Rwanda in the earlier game. So the earlier game is going to be Zimbabwe, Rwanda. Then the middle game is South Africa, Nigeria, then Benin, Lesotho late in the evening. And then the other teams that are playing as well in Group D, you've got Cape Verde versus Cameroon at 5 my time. And then Angola versus Mauritius. Then in Group E, Tanzania versus Niger, Kenya versus Seychelles in Group F. And then Gabon versus Ivory Coast. Then Group H, Namibia, Sao Tome and Principe. Let's see if there are other interesting games for us to have a look at. Togo will be playing Sudan at the same time as South Africa, Nigeria, as well as DRC, Congo DRC, and Senegal. That will be a good match, DRC, Senegal. I'll see if I can put it on my phone, see what happens. Burkina Faso versus Egypt as well, and then Sierra Leone versus Ethiopia in Group A. And then another game that I'll definitely be watching is the Serbia versus England match. This might be interesting. I always like to see what the English do, because I just want to see how they do tonight as well, late in the game. And I'll probably do a post-match review of that, because I'll definitely be watching Serbia England as well. But in the meantime, it's going to be South Africa versus Nigeria and South Africa. And I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to win? Do you agree with me? Do you see any gaps in Nigeria that is going to cost them this match? Do you think South Africa are not going to turn up for it at all? Right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on Daliso Sports Show. Do not forget to like and subscribe and share this video to all people who you think might enjoy it. Right, thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.